Going on, bro? I just turned on my camera. You got Lotus, Ferrari, or no, there's another Lotus. There's all Lotuses, my bad. Yeah, that's tough. I'm in my dad's 1794 edition Tundra right now. Sheesh, I don't know what's going on. M3. Yo, it's tough. Anyway, it's very beautiful right now in Northeast PA. You got the rolling hills, the mountains. Very nice. Yeah, so for what I want to talk about today, what it's like to have two cars, or what would be better to have two cars or one car, in a sense of having either a daily driver in a fun car, or have your fun car kind of be your do it all car. I would say, like, one thing on YouTube, they kind of talk about how cars like the GR86 that are 2+2s can kind of be a good daily driver car. And I feel that, especially now having my WRX and kind of living with a car that's more of a do-it-yourself car, I feel like there is a big difference between what can be used as your only car or a daily driver. I guess in my eyes, even if you do have a car like the GR86 BRZ that is a 2+2, I mean, even it has seats that can fold down, it is a compromise in a sense of, like, normal cars like a sedan or SUV or whatever. You just simply, just by having a 2+2 or having a coupe, you simply cannot have backseat passengers and also have that extra space. And just in that's a big compromise where it's like, it doesn't really feel like a full usable car. It's something that you're giving up. But if you do just drive by yourself, then obviously it's not a big deal. It's just when you need that extra space and when you need it, you won't have that. And I'm sure for some people's lifestyle that does work, but to say that it's kind of going to do it all, I feel like it's not really completely true. Especially also, like, their low ride height and stuff, it's going to be really hard to drive it in certain scenarios or on dirt, or if there's places with a lot of potholes and stuff like that. It's not going to be as pleasant to drive. However, when it is fun, obviously you are going to maximize more of that fun factor, and I can see that's really important for people. When it came to getting my WRX, I was really going through my options, and I was really strongly leaning towards a BRZ. However, first it did feel a little claustrophobic, and I really just didn't feel like it was that realistic had that been my only car, because I do have another vehicle, which is my 2002 Chevy Avalanche, which I can use that for maybe daily driving or winter duty or, truck duty, of course. But if that car went down, or if it just didn't make that much sense insuring both cars, or doing maintenance and all that stuff like that, and I just want to get rid of it and just want to downsize, then I'll have a car, a WRX, where it can have extra space. I can fit longer items in it. I can fold down the seats. It has a usable trunk that I can utilize stuff and, like, do real life stuff. I feel like in a coupe you can't fit, like, normal things like suitcases or large suitcases. You can't fit certain things from grocery runs. I mean, unless you do grocery runs you go to the grocery store every week, maybe every 2 weeks. But if you do bigger grocery trips, that's not really going to work. If you want to do a lot of different activities, or or if you have hobbies that have big things, you ski, you snowboard, I don't know, you need certain equipment to set up certain things. You just won't have that space. And yes, you can say, okay, you do have your passenger seat, but as soon as you don't have a passenger, that's a big piece of your cargo space just gone. Especially in a car like a Miata or something like that. Yeah, you can fit a lot of stuff without a passenger, but as soon as you get one passenger, it completely throws off how much space you have. And I feel like that's a really big issue. So I don't think that you could just safely have a car like the BRZ and think that you can just daily drive just fine. But a caveat to that, I think if you're at home and you have a bigger car that you have access to, or you have a significant other or like a friend that's willing to let them use your car, I feel like that need for it goes down dramatically. And I think by having my both the cars, the WRX and the truck, has shown me that. In a sense, if I did have a coupe, I feel like it would be very viable because every situation I would need it, the space or whatever, the right height, I just can use my truck, and it's not a big deal. Yes, I was in the sense of I did want a more well-rounded car. I do have the potential to move, so I do think that I could end up in a place where there's going to be more snow, more rain, and stuff like that. And I just wanted something that would be able to tackle it all. Like the WRX is a very capable car. You can drive that in sand, snow, dirt, gravel, whatever, it takes it and it's fine. But the WRX is a lot more of a livable car, a lot more comfortable for road trips and longer trips, I would say. A lot more space, better, a lot more comfortable seating position and stuff like that. But going back, I think that as soon as you have access to a different car, I think having a car that has utility, it just kind of doesn't make as much sense if you're trying to maximize fun, or if you want to have things like lower weight or more sports factor, or you don't need what you don't really need, and then that car that's trying to do it all, it will not be the best in the situation where you want it to do that one thing. For example, the WRX, they didn't have a whole back seat. It could be a lot smaller, a lot lighter weight, a lot quicker, a lot faster. But yes, that those extra space gives a lot more utility, but it won't be as comfortable, or you can't even fit as much people as a 3-year-old SUV, for example, or it won't be as comfortable as maybe a mid-size SUV for the back row seats, for example. There's going to be more headroom, there's going to be more space, more leg room, and then it's going to have higher ride height. And yeah, WRX, it can go in the snow and have all that, it's all-wheel drive and that stuff. It's not going to be as practical as maybe a truck, for example, in the snow, or something that's a little bit higher off the ground. Just because, I could do it all, it's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. And I saw a Reddit thread or Reddit post talking about the WRX BRZ and how someone said you just kind of need to know what car is for you. It's kind of like a 90%, 95%, 10%, or 5%, or 5%, 95%. I think that the coupes, the sports cars, the Miatas and stuff like that have more specialty to them, but are maybe lacking. They lack in pretty much everywhere else practicality wise. Something like a WRX is much usable most of the time, but it's lacking some of those fun elements, the real drive, it's not as lightweight, it's not as maybe raw feeling, or maybe it's connected feeling, it's not as low to the ground, it's maybe not, it doesn't have the most aggressive driving position, but on the other side it has a lot better visibility, a lot more, like, it's more realistic. Some of your do-it-all cars like the WRX, Civic SI, Civic Type R, Golf R, these bigger cars, have more weight, more practicality. Yes, the practicality is kind of a compromise that takes away from the sports car feeling, and I guess that's something that I may envy a little bit in the smaller cars. And I think that in a certain stage of my life where I do maybe get another more reliable, bigger car in the future, I think I would like to downsize to a smaller car because of that reason, something like a Miata, and that way you can get a little bit more separation of car and really feel like that car, that's your sports car, your fun car, is really just that special car for that reason. And then you can have a car that maximizes it in every other way. But then I do notice with having the two cars that you get kind of a sense of freshness, relief. You get more of that variety. So I have a 4-cylinder turbo in my WRX, and then I have manual, then I have an automatic 5.3 liter V8 in the truck. It's a different driving experience, naturally aspirated versus turbo, big car versus a smaller car, more high up to the ground, lower to the ground. So it does give kind of more variety, and it does make it a little bit more refreshing. And I feel like it's easier to appreciate your car. But if you're doing the fun drives, the boring drives, the drives, it's kind of makes your fun cars, you kind of almost associate it with some of those mundane things, like, oh, I gotta go to work today in the fun car. Yes, it is better than going in a boring car, but then when it's the weekend time, it's like, dang, I drove my car all week, or I don't really feel like driving, or okay, you think of your car maybe going to work or going to get groceries or doing stuff maybe you don't particularly like. And then, but if you have a different car, it's like, ooh, I can take the fun car out, or it's Friday, I'll take this car. And I actually noticed that kind of the opposite. I drove my Directs to work and back. Then I was taking my truck to go to the beach and stuff because I didn't want my car to get sandy. And it was almost like my truck turned into a fun car because it was something different. It was something that was a different experience. And just having that variety is something that's really nice. When you watch car YouTubers that drive in California, in Nevada, nice roads, flat roads, canyon roads. Some people are not really in heavy traffic, and you also need to know what you're going to use your car for. Like, how often are you really going to be able to take out your car and do fun drives? How often are you going to be in a situation where it's going to rain or it's going to snow? Or what kind of driver are you? Like, do you like to drive in the weather? Or would you rather just drive something else? Do you like to do road trips? Do you like to, are you comfortable with some discomfort on bumps and road imperfections, or do you like a more soft ride? Do you prefer steering? Do you prefer forced induction like turbo, or do you prefer naturally aspirated? Do you like to be in a more of a confined cockpit-like feel, or do you like to be in a more normal-esque, driving position like at a sedan, or how badly will blind spots bother you? I would think some of these questions can help you kind of make a better decision of what car you want, because not every car, just because a car is probably more fun or better on track, doesn't mean it's good for real life. And I think that I'm kind of glad I got something like the Direct, because it is a very real life car.